October 30th, 2001, Michael Jordan made his return to the NBA in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. The build-up to the game made it one of the most anticipated matches of the year because the last time the world had seen Jordan on the court was the '98 Finals. Michael would score his first basket less than 2 minutes into the game, having an up-and-down game on his way to a 19-point outing. With 18 seconds left, the Wizards had the ball with a chance to tie the game. Everyone in the Garden that night knew who would take the shot, and it seemed like this was the beginning of a new chapter in Jordan's legacy. Down by 3, the Wizards will go on to lose by 2 in their opening game and leave many people wondering if Jordan had made the right decision in his return. As the early season wore on, Washington got off to a slow start, winning only 2 of their first 11 games and struggling to find chemistry. They were far from competing for championships, but Jordan still had championship expectations in practice, pushing some of the young players harder than many of them were ready for or used to.
Well, like I tell people, Michael was fun. He had a unique personality. But then there was also another side where it was the talking trash Michael Jordan. And at times, me and a couple of the young guys would come up to him and say, "Hey, Mike, why don't you think about putting us in the Brand Jordan collection?"
Right.
And he'd look at me and say, "Hey, Rip, my sneakers for all-stars."
The team was struggling with the newfound national spotlight. They had gotten off to a rough start, but MJ was still must-see TV. The Wizards had gone from 28th in the league in attendance to selling out every home game. They found themselves on national TV almost every night. An overtime win against the Celtics sparked a run of 16 wins over their next 25 games and put them on pace to make the playoffs for the first time since 1997. Over this stretch, Michael was averaging over 25 points per game and showcasing a scoring ability that many people didn't think he still had. After a bad loss against the Pacers, Jordan was out to prove that he could still play. Jordan's 51-point performance against the Hornets was the record for points in a game by someone over the age of 38 at that time. This was followed up by 45 points in the very next game against the Nets, proving that MJ was still capable of being one of the game's best players, even past his prime. During these 2 games, Jordan was scoring at will and showcasing his veteran skill set that was very much different from the Jordan we've seen in the past. Crafty layups around the rim replaced the high-flying dunks. Fadeaway elbow jumpers became his staple instead of acrobatic finishes at the rim. Michael Jordan was no longer the acrobatic player of his heydays, but he did enough where he could still prove all of the critics wrong. Heading into the All-Star break, Michael Jordan was on pace to have one of the best individual seasons of any player that year. In fact, Jordan and Kobe Bryant were the only 2 players in the entire league averaging 25 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, which put Jordan at the heart of the MVP race at the midseason point. He had motivated his Wizards team to a respectful record after being one of the worst teams in the NBA the year before. Washington saw its young players like Rip Hamilton becoming reliable threats every night. Then, just as things were moving in the right direction, Jordan hurt his knee right before All-Star break. He tried to push on through the injury, but the Wizards lost 9 out of the next 10 games.